moment this movement began, solitude has not been an option for mankind. That's really probably not even enough to say, really, from the time that God created woman and said it is not good for man to be alone, even from that time, solitude has not been a biblical concept. It's not been an option. And not only is it not an option, it flies in the face of what God is calling us to, the life that He's calling us to, and it is dangerous for us all. He calls us to live in community with one another. And you see when these 3,000 believers came together, you see what they did. It says they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and prayers, and awe came upon every soul. And many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. You keep an eye on the first and the last part of that passage. And we will start a fire in this place if we devote ourselves to fellowship. If all who believe are together and have all things in common, I'm convinced this is a huge reason why God has been moving so obviously and so quickly already in this place. Because there's fellowship, because you care about one another, because you're doing life together. Because we're devoted to Scripture and we're living it out. And that's how the early church started this fire that is still going today. However, if you take any of these elements out of the fire, it goes out. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about the smallest red coal or the biggest log in the fire that is fully engulfed with flames. If you remove them from the fire, they grow cold and dark. The enemy may not be hunting you currently, but when he sees you alone, he sees prey. It doesn't matter how big you are or how established you are or how spiritual you may be, you are prey. We saw that, if you remember, a few weeks ago in the life of King David, when he separated himself from his people, when he was alone. Keep in mind, King David, he is a man after God's own heart. He is the ruler of the most powerful nation on earth at the time. But when he found himself alone, he was devoured. Faith grows cold in silence, but it burns brightly in fellowship. This morning, I want to talk to you not only about the importance of fellowship, but I want us to see this morning that this fellowship only exists when people bring all of themselves into the light of God's church. Because if you don't bring all of yourself here, this church is big enough to slip in and slip out and never make any connections and still ultimately be living life alone. And that is not how God calls it to be. And the bottom line is that